You have burst with the Lilia, burst with the Matrix. I think it's telegraphed. The way that this happened for the side of S11, they banned out Lapu Lapu. Surely that's a anti-marksman, anti-Eve, but that left open the Yu Zhong, and they kind of exposed their draft. The way that I see this is they picked up the Brody and the Granger because we were looking for a burst, right? You want to take down the Lilia as soon as possible, and that fits the bill. However, that opened their draft to a Yu Zhong answer, which is now all of a sudden a very valuable pick.
That back line is going to be very, very vulnerable to the engage from, like you mentioned, the Yu Zhong, but on top of that, the Cho, and even to a certain extent, the Martis and Lilia. Remember, this is such a dynamic draft from RSG SG that can dive to the back line, but can also play it front to back. That's what S11 needs to get under their win condition, right? They need to understand that before they get into game and before they head on for these skirmishes, especially early game, where the Granger is very susceptible to those ganks.
All right, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, the first match of the day, it is RSG going up against S11. This is a best of 3. Loser will need to go home.
It's gonna be about the burst potential coming out from S11, the way that they should be comboing up their 2 marksmen. But for the side of RSG Singapore, if they play this correctly, if they play team fight, play objectively, it will be an easier game for them, at least in execution. But of course, execution is different, you know.
You can already see early on how they've opted to actually play out the lanes here is with a leash, right? The Brody helping out the Granger, and also on top of that, Erwin was actually able to just buy some time in the gold lane by putting the wall down, but it does seem like right now it is RSG who are pushing the pace. With 505 and Bray already in enemy jungle, this is what you need to do up against something like a Granger.
Yeah, Lozy really need to use the fact that the Cho could be very annoying against the enemy jungle, but Erwin on the other hand, as that Grok could be annoying as well. The first skill does a lot of damage, so it's up to RSG to make sure that Bray gets to level 4 untouched. Once he unlocks the decimation, start going for this early, turtle objective. We saw in the team head-to-head earlier, right, Wolf? The fact that RSG really prioritized these neutral objectives very quickly. However, S11 though, they are bloodthirsty.
I'm gonna be feeling it for RSG Singapore. They need to make Lilia reach level 4 as soon as possible, the first turtle fight, which kind of tells me that S11 might consider getting Erwin to his ultimate fast. So maybe they put him in the mid lane and then put the Eve in the top lane so that they will have 2 ultimates available, the real world manipulation as well as the wild charge. That is their key if they do want to contest the first turtle.
Yeah, but Wolf, I feel like right now, if you notice the rotation of S11, Kai is trying to walk towards the turtle. Baby Cakes, on the other hand, being the late game marksman, would love to stay in lane. But now RSG, S11, they're actually gearing up for the fight right here. Look at that, Bray's already on that turtle for now.
Jotun finally getting that level 4, has the ultimate, but Bray and Lolzy are controlling it. Lolzy jumping in, that's going to be the final blow to the back line. Is Papadog's going to be able to find that, but the Petrify connects by Diablo onto Jotun, who's still committing onto the turtle. That was reset perfectly by RSG. S11 still going at it. They want to look for it. The steal will not come down for Papadog as Lolzy is able to use the Way of the Dragon to zone Papadog away.
Wolf, do you see that? I thought it was like, what? They're putting so much damage on top of the turtle, but the turtle somehow just doesn't refuses to die. It's like an Estes healing that turtle. Do you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. And whoever made that play, I don't know if it's intended, like crazy amount of planning for that one, or maybe it's just happenstance, but either way, it worked in favor of RSG Singapore, who had the better experience. Now, I'm not talking about actual experience, I'm talking about in-game experience, where Lolzy already had his ultimate up, he had the flicker, he didn't manage to land it on a good hero, but then again, they still managed to get their position and set a territory around the turtle area. Unfortunately for S11, they had to use Jotun in the mid lane, the jungler, so that he'll get to his ultimate. And that meant that Erwin will not have his. They didn't have wild charge in that team fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could have went wrong for S11 went wrong. RSG already just somehow did that weird turtle reset, and they've also got their items in. Just now I saw Baby Cakes already slowly waiting towards, oh, Diablo.
2v1, able to find a trade, but Jotun gets the kill back on top. He doesn't go for the turret gold up in the XP lane, however, which is very, very interesting here. Still respecting the other RSG members. They're not visible on the map, but let's take a look at the emblems now.
Yeah. Surprised to see a Weapon Master for the Brody because typically you want to go for a killing spree.
Yeah.
But I guess they want to just take over the early game as soon as possible, which kind of, it kind of speeds up your damage output if you're the Brody. And they do want to go for the burst. That's what we're talking about. That's probably why they chose the Weapon Master over anything else.
Yeah, correct. I feel like the Grandeur already has that big burst. That's why you give the killing spree over to the Grandeur, the Weapon Mastery over to that Brody. The Brody, technically speaking, it's like a, this is not a short-term plan that S11 wants that Brody. Kai needs to go for that mile. He's constantly landing down those auto attacks as the second turtle has spawned.
With the second turtle, it comes down again to that control. And in the mid lane so far, it has been RSG. But right now in the 4th minute, S11 have actually been able to clear the mid lane first. But you can see the adaptation from RSG. Amazing turtle reset towards their side. As now, the mini waves are going to be crashing again into the mid lane. Erwin still in the front, getting the wall down as Papa Dog jumps in, but is going to be cancelled out as that's going to be Chan who picks up the turtle. Bray going to be caught. That's a lot of damage. The Turtle Pop Memory finishes him off as Lolzy tries to run away, but Kai is going to be able to take the damage down, to pick the double kill up, and to equalize and take the lead back for Argentina.
S11 literally stabilized a very dire early game. Now RSG on the back foot right here. Look at how S11 is actually punishing Baby Cakes. Real one manipulation, oh no, it doesn't connect on top of Baby Cakes.
Unfortunately for RSG Singapore, they weren't able to utilize their biggest team fight ultimate, which is the Dragon Force coming out from Diablo. That's why S11 found a big opening, and they can burst the turtle so easily because of their double marksman setup. Well, because of the Brody's damage and the Weapon Master, you saw him critting over 1,000 damage onto the turtle. And of course, Jotun being a Granger can really burst that turtle down so easily. And that's why S11 was able to just establish territory this time. A great recovery from the Argentinian squad.
Ice Cream 1 already built for the side of Chan. We notice Jotun has already started to take more resources away from RSG. Bray has already completed Hunter Strike, so that could be a pulse spike. He needs to try to play around that. Unfortunately, S11, Jotun is a grandeur. The early game, aggression that S11, they're looking for the kills, they're looking for these small little objectives, and they're looking really good.
What is that stat line? Well, remember, S11 only won 1 game in the groups, and Kai has only suffered 2 deaths this M4. That's insane.
That is insane. To think that they are losing the games and they're actually playing like long games as well, like 14, the north of 14 and 15 minutes. And
aggressive comps.
Aggressive comps. This is amazing. Very impressive coming out from Kai, and never doubt his choices now. Brody is proving to be a good pick for S11.
Yeah, but Chan, I think, going down this real world manipulation super early on, that big team fight ultimate is going to go on cooldown, especially when the third turtle, the last turtle, that will spawn very quickly. RG, on the other hand, they're desperately trying to shove that way, but Chan, using that real world manipulation, cleared it off, leaving File 5 with only a bit of HP left.
Well, we'll see. Once again here with the mid lane control, S11 have the priority on the turtle. Lolzy trying to find an opening here as he pops the conceal, but it's going to be cancelled out. Lolzy going to be able to find the flicker, but it's going to be stunned up now. That's the retribution by Bray. Jotun going to be caught. Has a detonata, but it's going to fall towards Diablo, who's able to dive into the back line. Bray with a decimation 2 finds another, and it's a 2-for-1. It's only the roamer falling for RSG, and they've taken a turtle.
Good news over the side for RSG. Don't forget, they entered the team fight 4 versus 5. It is File 5 that need forced to go back and reset. However, because S11, they don't have the real world manipulation, opting to use it to clear the waves right off the bat. They don't have that big mega control. And don't forget, Lolzy coming in at a nice angle right there, Wolf. Going in, knock up 3, that is good enough.
I definitely want to attribute that to the experience that RSG has outside of the game, because that was wonderful positioning from Lolzy.
Uh-oh, 505 going to be caught here. Doesn't have the black shoes to get out. A good snipe by Baby Cakes, but Kai, again, going to be able to find that kill. Baby Cakes with one more hit. Kai's going to be punished, overstayed just a bit. And Baby Cakes, when you give it an inch, he takes a mile. That's Kai's 3rd death in this tournament.
That's exactly what we want to see from Baby Cakes, right? B-Trix finally popping off. I'm really happy for him. Don't forget, he's also playing with somewhat of a disadvantage. He is not on stage right now, unfortunately, but he will be playing from the hotel because of COVID.
Yeah, what we saw from back-to-back instances where RSG won is the difference between the experience of the two teams. The first fight is Lolzy as well as Diablo made the S11 panic, and you see Jotun just desperately try to secure that turtle. Unfortunately, they didn't have the advantage. And afterwards, you saw Kai. He was so desperate into clearing that wave that sacrificed his life. in exchange for one cart, one cannon, he lost his life and claimed his third death.
Yeah, we've seen how damaging one auto attack is. Now we've seen how damaging one siege minion is right now. Now the map state a little bit reset. Just taking a look at the kill lead, 5v5. In terms of gold lead, not too far apart, but the first lot has spawned.
I think for me, S11, right? The main mistake that they've been doing right now is they're not utilizing the early lead that Kai has. Baby Cakes has equalized and at this point is actually ahead of Kai. It has to be Lolzy who finds the way the dragon with the GP no flicker. Everyone's gonna fall. The Torn Part member is gonna be able to punish one member down. Diablo's gonna dash. He gets the petrify onto two members. Zones the back line. Meanwhile, Kai and Papa Dog able to find a double kill. Jotun still trying to find Diablo right now as the other members comes in as well. Diablo gonna fall. It's a 3-for-2 for the Argentinians. And just like you mentioned, Jace, the Lord is up.
S11, this is the time for them to try to take that one Lord away. That is a neutral objective that they don't usually prioritize, and now they're learning, they're adapting. RSG, on the other hand, they fall a little bit too far. It is Diablo that overextended a little bit too far, and I have to admit, S11 using Kai and also Papa Dog to zone out the rest of RSG, that's insane, as S11 took this Lord uncontested.
That is the skirmish that I call exchange of prisoners, wherein you kind of like, trade your explainers. The opposing explainers goes for your backlines, and your explainer goes to the opposing backlines. Unfortunately for RSG Singapore, after the fact that the Dragon Form is over, you don't have that teamfight integrity anymore. Whereas if you're looking for the Benedetta, there's infinite amount of damage you can get. And as Onset just won that skirmish because they have the better firepower or more sustainable firepower compared to RSG Singapore.
Just now, when the item was showing Kai's BOD, Legion, anything that has like that gives you attack damage, he's already have it. This Weapon Master, S11, Kai needs to be respected. Just take a look at how fast he's just dismantling RSG one by one in terms of these turrets. It's looking very bleak for RSG.
It just, as I said, right, I felt like Kai wasn't utilizing the early lead, and just right there, he pops it, has the mid-game power spike, he goes in with the team, and that's what they need to do. Bray is going to be actually taken low here with the real world inflation, and the Death Sonata that's going to be able to find it. Everyone's going forward to find a wild charge as Lolzy falls as well. Diablo has the Petrify, gets Jotun up, but Kai in the back line is going to be able to free hit. Baby Cake's going to lose a lot of HP, but Kai's going to be able to flicker out. Winner nature by Baby Cakes. Papa Dog diving in, again, dealing a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough to take the rest of the RSG members down. It's a 2-for-2, but the Lord is munching on the turret. Meanwhile, Papa Dog gets the tier 2 down in the mid lane, and RSG are still going to be able to defend for the base turrets.
Wonderful defense coming up from RSG Singapore if you think about it. However, as Young said, just found the opening. I think this is because of Papa Dog's initiation from the backlines. And this is not the first time that Papa Dog has impressed us. Even Mirko casted them outside of M4, and he's already making wonders. I think he learned a lot from that tournament, and now he's flexing it all over RSG Singapore.
Yeah, Brute Force breastplate already being built by the side of the Jotun. That's why Diablo is unable to find the target and burst him down quickly before he could do any collateral damage. The fact that, you know, Chan land down the real world manipulation, catching 2, that's technically a big stun. Allows Jotun to just land down the Death Sonata. However, the kick, wrong side. Lolzy will be able to shove Papa Dog away. But wait, Erwin's in the back line.
It's a misplay here by both Lolzy and Erwin, but it's Erwin who gets punished down. Jotun looking for a play. That's the real world manipulation. Locking Baby Cakes down as the Death Sonata comes down as well. Baby Cakes flickering out and getting back to safety. Man, it was just out of vision. Lolzy wanted to get the flicker down to get behind, and on top of that, Erwin, he wanted to capitalize, but he just couldn't.
It's very difficult to beat Erwin in this game, actually, because this is like a second pick rock. And you can see RSG Singapore, they have so many answers to that. Even just the presence of the Lilia as well as the Beatrix make it so difficult for Erwin to initiate with the wild charge without the flickers. That's really what happened in there too.
That's right, 10 seconds. It's going to be the Lord has spawning very, very soon right now. S11 is actually mostly doing the fight in RSG side of the map. But wait, here comes the Death Sonata.
Lolzy's got to be careful here. That's a lot of damage being placed onto him. That's the Rover though. That's a big ultimate burnt down. 1-for-0. Jotun almost just bursting 505 down. Baby Cakes looking for a snipe, but S11 right now, 3.3k gold lead. They're on the Lord with a one-man advantage.
Erwin locking away Bray, not even allowing him to step into the Lord pit. He could just go in and try to take the steal, but the RSG decides to give it up over to S11, and this is looking very bad.
A wonderful Lord dance that was choreographed by S11. You might not have noticed it, but it was actually Papadog going for the longer lane. So the top lane is called the long lane when the Lord is on the bottom lane. And that is how they managed to disperse RSG Singapore. RSG had to think about their lane up top and also the Lord. Well, S11, that's the reason why they committed the real-world manipulation outside of the Lord, because they know that if they fend off RSG Singapore, if they poke RSG Singapore, RSG will not have any shot at taking the Lord.
That's right. If you noticed earlier, right now, if you take a look, it's damage dealt mostly by Chan with the real-world manipulation, right? And not only just that, as Yonsei is also sending this Lord all the way down top. It is very vulnerable. RSG technically do have, the Beatrix, the Bandit's Rage with the bombs as well, should be able to help to clear out the wave. However, RSG, they need to make a play. It's all up to Lozy to be able to pick up the right targets at the right time, like how he did in the early parts of the game.
That's the siege coming down as S11 finds the base turret. Bray gonna be zoned away. Lolzy trying his best to look for that Jikundo, but it's gonna be punished in the end. That's a flicker forward. Kai almost finding the kill. Also Bray, who's still gonna be able to get out. Kai dealing a whole lot of damage to 505. His baby cakes here is not gonna be able to defend the mid lane. Turret Erwin flickers forward, finds the wild charge, and that's the Petrify to follow through. But in the back line as well, RSG are gonna be able to find the two marksmen from S11. Erwin gonna fall to the decimation as that's gonna be Bray picking up a triple kill. They're looking for the Maniac. Bray is walking them down. Papadog and Chan able to get out with the utilities. Lolzy jumps in, not able to find the Jikundo. Chan still just kiting back, dealing damage. Lolzy forced them back away. RSG have won, but they lost 3 base turrets.
It's a very expensive loss, Wolf. RSG, that was a good defense, but they need more. You saw how hard it is for Lozy to just step forward, and you saw how confident Kai is on this Brody. I think this is like a hidden ace in the sleeve.
Yeah. And Baby Cakes just survived long enough. After the initiation coming out from Erwin, there's some hesitation coming out from S11, but imagine if they chain together their Benedetta, Purify, and Electro Blow with the Wild Charge, and of course the real-world manipulation, there will be no chance for Baby Cakes to survive. He did survive because of the Wind of Nature, and because of the fact that he got out of the real-world manipulation, but it would have been the death of RSG Singapore had it not been that Baby Cakes was able to survive. And S11, surely they are executing properly, but they need to be more coordinated in those pushes. Still, RSG Singapore on the back foot.
That's the Petrify, and that's Papadog getting out. That's the damage coming through from Kai's. He's
Oh
gonna
my
be able to
goodness.
actually dish him down. Both Baby Cakes and Lolzy falls down. Diablo trying to find the saving grace here, but Kai's gonna be able to stun him up.
no.
The Petrify will not be able to save him. Diablo gets the immortality in time, but now in a 3v1, it is Chan who picks up a triple. 505 gonna be sandwiched here by both Jolton and Erwin. That's 505 still cutting away. Jolton gonna be caught low. 505 versus World, and it's a maniac for Chan. S11, the Argentinians are looking for the end.
Chan, the real-world manipulation is so crazy, and it just does Bray left, and they're gonna have to try to fight this.
Torn apart memory by Kai to zone him away. S11 strike first in the lower brackets in a best of 3 up against the Singaporean champions.
GG, well played over to S11. The Argentinian fans must be